I kind of got this theory where I be thinking like, it goes back to, I changed the way I listen to people. I don't so much listen to like words in general. I listen to like how people use words. So I kind of got this theory that where like, I really don't be feeling like people be talking to other people. I feel like when we're using our words, even when we're directing them to others, we're mainly talking to ourselves or about ourselves. And the reason I say this is because I try and listen to how people use words instead of the actual words they're using. And I say that because a lot of times people use words, I'm gonna use the term comparatively. Like a lot of times people use words, I feel like there's a such thing as like balanced words, and then there is a such thing to where like you have these other words that people use, I call them extreme words or like outliers, but mainly like extreme words, but extreme comparative words. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm gonna try and get to it. Like, for example, let's say the balanced word is like confident. Let's say somebody be like, oh, so-and-so is confident. Like, yo, he's a confident person. I like that. You know what I'm saying? That's a balanced word to describe somebody. Because balanced is like, okay, that word is okay in anybody's eyes. There's not like a negative connotation towards that word when using it to describe others. And then you got, let's say that next step, the extreme word, instead of confident, in my mind, is like cocky. Like whenever you hear somebody say like, let's say like somebody's talking, they say, man, so-and-so so cocky. I don't like that nigga. He's cocky. Cocky is, words are subjective. So I say all that to say this. When you hear people use extreme words, that's when I listen. Like, people say words like for that example, like cocky. In my mind, I'm not really listening that you said cocky. In my mind, it goes back to what I was saying. People aren't talking to you, they're talking to or about themselves. So it's like you hear a nigga talk about another nigga and be like, I just don't fuck with that nigga. Like, he too cocky. You know what I'm saying? And you be like, the only difference between cocky and confident is however you view yourself. That nigga ain't cocky. He's cocky compared to how you look like at yourself. Like, I want to say everybody would kind of view themselves as confident, which is the balanced word. So when you see a nigga that's exhibiting activities or anything outside of your personal subjective box of how you think people are supposed to act, you, instead of using a balanced word as such as confident, like, damn, that nigga confident as fuck, you're going to say cocky. Because the comparative word, it allows for you to put that person in a box that makes you comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So like that extreme word. Like even with, it goes back to kind of what Dave Chappelle was saying. Remember when Dave Chappelle was going through all that shit and then he went on that interview, Oprah. And he was like, what was he saying? He was saying like how when he chose to go to Africa, the media was putting out all this shit and like everything was circled around him being crazy. Like crazy. Like, I'm trying to figure out what the balance word. Crazy is an extreme word, like another extreme word. You know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to figure out, I guess sane would be the word that blah blah blah, or normal is probably the balance word. So I say this is like, I remember Dave Chappelle was talking about it. He said like, people use this word crazy to describe when like celebrities do stuff that, you know, nobody would understand. But he was saying to do that, it's like dangerous, because it's like the word crazy itself, people use these extreme comparative words and it means it's very dismissive. Like, okay, when people are making normal moves or doing normal shit, they use balanced words. You know what I'm saying? But then they throw out words like crazy whenever someone's doing something. And it goes back to what I was talking about. It's like, it's all subjective. You're not referring to Dave Chappelle's actions. The way you use your words have more to do with you than they actually have to do with whoever you're speaking about. So, like when people were talking about Dave's crazy. Dave's not crazy. He's just crazy subjectively to you, because in your little box of how you live and how you feel like others are supposed to live, he's not in there. So it's like, oh shit, wait a second. That's why I say extreme and outlier words, because you're using these words to describe outliers. You know what I'm saying? Extremes. Like, he's not in the box. So we have to, and most of the time, our ego and insecurity chooses extreme words that have like negative connotations in the minds of others. Like crazy. But in the end, you're mainly speaking about yourself. And I say all that to say, I'm talking from personal experience. I'm not talking about anybody else. What I'm saying is, when I started actually making decisions and speaking outside of the box, I became more like, and I'm becoming more accepting of anything anybody else going on, because I don't know anybody's situation. So I say all that to say this. If you're, this is gonna sound bad, but if you be around niggas and you hit them, I'm not talking about just once, because I mean sometimes people just have bad feelings towards maybe one nigga or whatever. You never know, I don't know. But if you around niggas and you hear niggas talk about another nigga, using all these, talking about other niggas, like you be around a nigga and you always hear him talking about niggas, and he be like, man, I don't fuck with that nigga. That nigga, man, that nigga crazy, dog. Nigga crazy, bruh. Like, nigga stupid. You know what I'm saying? Or nigga just, you too cocky. All these extreme words. He's trying to put that man down, but he's mainly speaking of, damn, compared to me, I consider myself confident, but that nigga, you're basically saying like, I feel like I'm here, but that nigga here. But it's like, instead of me trying to pull myself up to maybe whatever level I feel like he's on, I'm finna try and like demean him to where, even if you're not talking to him, like trying to demean him in the eyes of others. So it's just crazy. And when I say you're probably around a fuck nigga, I'm not saying that. That's just like, I'm talking about myself, because there were times in the past where I used to speak like this. Like, I used to be like, look at other niggas and I'd be like, oh, this nigga be putting himself out there too much. Like, who this nigga think he is? Like, I used to talk like a fuck nigga is what I'm saying. But now that I'm getting to a certain point, I'm more accepting, and I watch how I use my words. And there was a last part I wanted to get to, but it's mainly that. Damn. But mainly confidence versus cockiness. It's I call this a case study in extreme or outlier words. Yeah, man. Just listen to how people use their words. Whenever you hear people use extreme words, they're talking about themselves. Like, yeah. And when I got my confidence up, like now I'm cocky as fuck. And I say all that to say this. Okay, this is what I said. Now I feel like I be hearing so many extreme words described about me that like I love it. It makes me wanna surround myself with other people that, when talked about, extreme words are described to them. Like, I be around people and I hear niggas, like I be around chicks, or I be around niggas and I hear them be like, they might be talking about another nigga and they be like, see that nigga over there? That nigga crazy, bruh. Or that nigga like, bro, like, they be talking weird about him, right? And in my head, I'm listening how to use the words, and I might don't even say nothing. I might be like shaking my head and shit. In my head, I'm thinking, oh, he's one of the real ones. Like, and in my head, I'm probably gonna be like, in the future, I'm probably gonna really low-key connect with that nigga. Cause he's one of them. He's that nigga. My dog Rich like to say, I love my dog Rich. He like to call the nigga, well, he call himself him. I love that shit. Cause, well, never mind. Like, in the end, that's how I look at it. Like, when people talk about them niggas that they talk about with the extreme words, that's him. Like, him who? Him. Like, him. That nigga. But yeah, I say all that to say this. Like, I want to surround myself with people that, when people describe me or anybody I'm around, like, them niggas cocky as fuck. I don't want no confident niggas around me. I don't want no anybody underconfident. I don't want no insecure niggas around me, and I don't want no confident niggas around me. I want cocky niggas around me. I want niggas to see and they like, damn, this nigga daring shining. You know what I'm saying? I want them to be like, man, instead of thinking like this nigga shine too much, I want them to like, damn. Cause that's when I started thinking different, was when I started really getting my confidence up and I started viewing niggas that I knew probably had confidence higher than me. Instead of looking to tear them down or use outlier or extreme words, I'd be like, I need to get myself where that nigga at. Not even where that nigga at, but I need to raise my my level of confidence to ascend where he's at. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, and if you a woman, get you a cocky nigga. Get you a cocky nigga. Because a confident nigga, in the end, you gonna get with a confident nigga or insecure nigga, and then you gonna get the view and actually get exposed to a cocky nigga, and you gonna be like, you gonna look at that nigga you with, and you gonna be like, damn, I settled, but I didn't even know it was niggas like this out there. And it's like, then you gonna start looking at your man a little different, which is cool too. But it's like, in the end, just listen to how people use words. They're not talking about you. They're not talking about me. They're talking about themselves. In my opinion. Hey, man, y'all have a good one, man. Confidence versus cockiness. I call this, I don't even know what a case study is, but I call this confidence versus cockiness. A case study in extreme / outlier words.